Welcome to the Ancient Wisdom Channel. In this life, surely everyone has, at least once, felt jealous eyes, slanderous words, or even hurtful actions from people around you. And sometimes, that makes you feel confused, even not knowing how to behave to both maintain peace and not harm yourself. But did you know that, since ancient times, the ancients have left us valuable teachings on how to skillfully deal with people who hate you? These teachings not only help you resolve hostility, but also help you maintain a peaceful mind and create a more meaningful life. Today, in this video, I will share with you 6 ways to skillfully deal with people who hate you, based on the profound philosophies of the ancients. These are not only meaningful lessons, but also the key to help you overcome difficult situations intelligently and humanely. Let me go through each way one by one. I believe that just by applying these things, you will find life easier, and especially that ingenuity will change the way others perceive you. 1. Stay calm and don't respond to negative emotions. You know, in life we don't always receive love and understanding from everyone. There are times when you will have to face harsh words and malicious actions from people around you. And when that happens, our first reaction is often frustration, anger, or even wanting to respond immediately. But have you ever wondered if that action really helps solve the problem? Or does it just make things more tense? The ancients taught, calm down the movement. When someone tries to hurt you, the first thing you need to do is not to argue or respond, but to keep your mind calm. Because when you are calm, you can see the problem clearly, understand the other person's true intentions, and especially not let their negative emotions affect you. Imagine a situation like this. You achieve something at work, and someone starts criticizing you, saying that you don't deserve it, or that you got lucky. What happens if you immediately fire back with angry words? The argument escalates, and you end up feeling burned out, while your image in the eyes of those around you is also affected. But if you choose to stay silent, listen calmly, and even respond with a slight smile, you will find that their negativity gradually loses its effect. Being calm does not mean being weak or accepting all nonsense. Calmness is to master the situation, keep your mind clear, and not be dragged into the negative spiral created by others. The ancients said that if you want to win a big battle, you must first win yourself. And calmness is the first victory you need to achieve. So how do you stay calm in situations like this? First, focus on your breathing. When you feel stressed, just take a deep breath and think that you don't need to lower yourself to get back at them. Next, remember that the hater doesn't really know you.
They're just letting jealousy get the best of them. You don't need to prove anything to them. More importantly, let your success speak for itself. Don't waste your time arguing with people who only want to drag you down. The more you stay calm, the more you maintain your pride and dignity, the more they will realize that all their efforts are in vain. And that is when you will not only win the battle, but also grow as a person. Remember, calmness is not only about how you treat others, but also about how you treat yourself. That helps you maintain balance in every situation. So, the next time you encounter a jealous person, try this practice and feel the change. 2. Focus on self-development. Dear friend, have you noticed that jealous people often do not spend time on self-development? Instead, they focus on nitpicking, criticizing, and trying to bring others down to ease their own insecurities. So, when faced with jealousy, the best thing you can do is not to respond, but to focus on improving yourself. As the ancients said, a jade without polishing cannot become a treasure. A gem, if not polished, will forever be just a rough stone. Life is the same. Instead of being caught up in negative emotions,
Use that time to polish yourself. Learn new skills. Improve yourself every day. When you keep moving forward, their jealousy will only become a faint echo behind you. Imagine you are running in a race. The haters are the ones standing on the sidelines, yelling or pointing. If you stop to argue with them, you will be behind or even miss the finish line. But if you focus on the road ahead and keep moving forward, they will soon see only your back. So how do you apply this to your life? First, identify your biggest goal. It could be a skill you want to perfect, a job you want to advance in, or a lifestyle you want to pursue. Then spend time learning, practicing, and improving every day. The time you spend improving yourself is the strongest answer to the haters. Also, always remember that your growth is not about proving anything to anyone, but about becoming the best version of yourself. When you focus on yourself, you will feel more confident, stronger, and less affected by the negativity around you. Use the jealousy of others as a reminder that you are doing the right thing. After all, no one is jealous of someone who is not outstanding. So, instead of worrying or being sad, feel proud and turn that energy into motivation to continue to rise. And one day, when you look back, you will see that it was your focus on self-development that brought you to heights that they could not reach. 3. Be kind, but keep your distance. Therefore, when facing them, instead of being hostile or retaliating, a kind but skillful attitude of keeping your distance will help you both maintain peace and not let them affect your life. The ancients once said, "Misfortune and happiness have no doors, only people bring them upon themselves." That means that the way we treat others is the seed that sows our own results. Kindness not only helps you maintain relationships within safe limits, but also creates a good image of yourself in the eyes of others. But importantly, that kindness needs to have limits. You must know how to keep your distance to protect yourself from unnecessary harm. Think of a familiar situation. You realize that someone around you is being difficult, trying to badmouth you, or creating unnecessary trouble. In that situation, you have two choices. One is to respond with a similar response, which only escalates the conflict. The other is to choose to be kind, stay calm, and not let your emotions get the best of you. For example, if they say something sarcastic, instead of arguing, you can respond with a polite but firm statement like, "Thanks for your comment, I'll think about it." However, being kind doesn't mean letting them cross your boundaries. If you notice them taking advantage of your kindness or engaging in negative behavior over and over again, it's time to set boundaries. This distance isn't a total breakup, but rather a mutual respect. You are polite but not pushy, friendly but not manipulative. How do you do this in life? First of all, keep your words and actions gentle and polite, no matter how others behave. But at the same time, don't get too close or share private things with people you know don't really respect you. Remember, distance doesn't make you cold, it just protects you from negative energy. Kindness is more powerful than you think. Not only does it help you maintain peace of mind, it can also change the way others perceive you. However, kindness must always be accompanied by sobriety and tact. So, the next time you encounter jealousy, try this method. Be kind, but remember to keep a distance that makes you feel safe and comfortable. 4. Don't brag or compare. Have you noticed that sometimes jealousy doesn't come from what you did wrong, but from your own prominence? When you achieve success or have something that others admire, sometimes they will feel challenged, leading to jealousy. And in times like these, a humble attitude, not boasting, not comparing, is the key to help you avoid unnecessary jealousy. The ancients once taught that there is always a higher mountain, meaning to remind us that no matter how good you are, there will always be someone more excellent. Boasting about your success not only does not make you shine brighter, but on the contrary, it easily becomes an excuse for others to feel uncomfortable and jealous.
People are not jealous because you are good, but because you make them feel inferior. Think of someone who constantly brags about their achievements in front of others. At first, it may make them admire them, but over time, those brags will only create a sense of pressure, make people around them feel compared, and even lead to resentment. Pride can sometimes be a source of jealousy. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be proud of yourself, but it's how you show it that matters. Let your success shine through your actions, not your words. For example, instead of constantly talking about your achievements, share stories or lessons you learned from those successes. When you turn personal pride into a shared value for everyone, jealousy is less likely to arise. Also, avoid comparing yourself to others, especially in conversations. Comparisons often hurt other people's self-esteem, even if you don't mean to. Saying, "I did it, why can't you?" can make the listener feel belittled, and jealousy can arise. Humility is not only a virtue, but also a way to protect yourself from negative emotions from others. Let your success speak for itself, and remember that a little silence is also an art in communication. When you know how to be humble, you not only make others feel comfortable, but also create a harmonious atmosphere where jealousy is difficult to exist. 5. Change the way you look at jealousy. Have you ever wondered why someone is jealous of you? Sometimes we get caught up in feeling uncomfortable, even angry when faced with jealousy. But if you try to change your perspective, you will see that jealousy can be giving you a valuable lesson about yourself. As the ancients said, benevolence is respect, worthiness is equality. The idea is that your enemies can sometimes be a mirror that shows you your own imperfections. Jealousy can be a signal that you're doing something outstanding, something they can't ignore, but it can also be an opportunity for you to reflect on yourself. Are you being unintentionally tactless, or is there something about the way you communicate that is causing misunderstandings? Imagine, in a work environment, a coworker is always being mean and critical of you. At first, you may feel that they are being unreasonable, but when you think about it, you realize that you are often too busy to share your work with them, or sometimes unintentionally come off as unfriendly. That doesn't mean they're right, but it does help you improve your work and communication, which can make your relationship better. In addition to self-perception, other people's jealousy also reflects their own feelings and problems. Someone who is jealous of you is not actually hating you, but rather because you highlight something they feel is lacking in themselves. The ancients taught that wise people do not compete with those who lack confidence. When you realize that the root of jealousy lies in the other person's insecurities, you will no longer feel hurt or angry. Whenever you encounter jealousy, ask yourself if it is a reminder to improve yourself, or simply, it's someone else's problem that you don't need to worry about. By changing your perspective, you'll see that jealousy is no longer something to be afraid of, but just a small part of your journey to maturity. Remember, you can't control how other people feel, but you can absolutely control how you react. A positive perspective will help you turn jealousy into a driving force to move forward, instead of a hindrance that holds you back. Number 6. Learn to forgive and be tolerant. When faced with jealousy, it is understandable if you feel hurt or want to retaliate. But the ancients taught, repay evil with good, and evil is eliminated from the heart. Forgiveness not only gives you peace, but it is also the most powerful way to overcome negative emotions and resolve conflicts. Jealous people are often driven by low self-esteem, envy, or hurt feelings within themselves. Instead of responding with anger,
Try to see them from a different perspective, as someone who is stuck in negative emotions and needs forgiveness. This doesn't mean you have to tolerate or agree with what they do, but you choose to not let their actions affect your soul. Think about a time when you forgave someone. Not only did you feel lighter, but you also realized that holding on to grudges only made things worse. Forgiveness is an act of liberation for yourself, because when you hold on to resentment, you are letting them control your emotions. But when you forgive, you take back control, no longer being controlled by negative energies. To practice forgiveness, you need to start by letting go. Don't hold on to negative words or actions. Realize that their jealousy isn't really directed at you, but rather a reflection of their own insecurities or failures in their own lives. This will make it easier for you to forgive. Also, try to put yourself in their shoes. We all make mistakes or feel insecure at times. If you can understand how they feel, forgiveness will be easier. And when you forgive, you not only lighten your heart, but also give them the opportunity to look back and change. Remember, forgiveness is not a weakness, but an act of strength. It helps you maintain peace and affirm your own worth. A forgiving person is a free person, because they do not let other people's negative emotions bind them. Try to let go, try to be tolerant, and try to see things from a lighter perspective. You will find your soul becomes much more peaceful. Conclusion. So we have gone through 6 ways to skillfully deal with people who are jealous of you. These ways of behaving not only help you overcome negativity in life, but also make you more mature, stronger, and live more peacefully. The ancients have a saying, "A calm heart naturally brings success." When you are calm, you will no longer be swayed by negative words or actions. Remember that you cannot control other people's emotions, but you always have control over how you react. Tact, calmness, and tolerance are the armor that protects you from all the negative things in life. If you find the sharing in this video useful, don't forget to apply them to your daily life. You will realize that by changing your behavior, you will not only reduce the jealousy of others, but also make your life easier and more positive. And before ending, I want to say one thing. A truly good person is not someone who has no one to hate, but someone who always keeps a peaceful heart despite the negativity around. Be that person, my friend. Thank you for joining me in today's video. If you like this content, please like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos. And don't forget to share your story in the comments section. I look forward to hearing your thoughts and experiences. See you in the next videos. Wish you peace and happiness.